It's so good to have you on the show this morning again. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Welcome to Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. Well, the objective of national productivity derives from the need to achieve a high volume of qualitative output with least expenditure of resources. That's what the experts say. In Nigeria, there is a critical challenge of harnessing resource efficiency in ways that accelerate economic growth. Productivity of the public service in Nigeria is vastly undermined by the fact that the Nigerian government is the single largest employer of labor and provider of services in the economy, which consumes a considerable amount of tax resources in the process. And that's where it's getting interesting. The National Productivity Center is a research-oriented federal government parastatal established by the Act Cap 70, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, to stimulate and promote productivity consciousness in all sectors of the Nigerian economy, monitor productivity trends, and lead the productivity movement in Nigeria to ensure a competitive and productive economy. On Insight today, we will focus on the productivity sector, the challenges, the way to go. And our guest today is the Deputy Director, Information and Advocacy Unit, Corporate Affairs and Information Department of the National Productivity Center, Mr. Martins Okonkwo. Welcome to Insight, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seats.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM. I was saying that my guest for the discussion today, Mr. Martins Okonkwo, is a Deputy Director, Information and Advocacy Unit, Corporate Affairs and Information Department of the National Productivity Center. Once again, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, and he will be helping us make sense of that very important agency of government that for a long time has been doing a lot for the productivity industry in Nigeria. You can join our live stream on YouTube. Just type in Citizen FM and you will be part of this show from anywhere you are on the face of the earth. You can also join our social media platforms, 3 of them on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on X at Citizen FM 937. And by 10:30 we will open the phone lines. But for now, we will delve into the issues. We are looking at the productivity sector of Nigeria. What are the challenges? What is the way out? And we're also looking at the performance of the National Productivity Center and what this agency of government has been doing in recent years. Mr. Okonkwo, let's start this way. This center was created to lead a productivity movement in Nigeria. How has this gone 19 years down the line or thereabout?
Thank you. It hasn't been easy for National Productivity Center. As you all know, as you already said, main mandate is to instill and promote productivity consciousness in the private and public sector of the country. You know, and when we talk of private, we are talking about industries, manufacturing industries, small SMEs, you know, people getting activities, small entrepreneurs, and then public sector. You know, we talk about government agencies, schools, you know, anything that relates with government, trying to improve their productivity, how they do things, how they do it better, how they can do it better. You know, so it hasn't been easy. So that's why National Productivity Center in Productivity House, we have myriad of activities, activities that help to promote productivity in all these sectors. And that has to do with activities, a lot of them. So we talk of promotion, which is part of what we are doing now. We talk of productivity quality improvement program, which we try to indulge into industries that are not doing well, that are ailing, that are getting moribund, that is not existing, that are about to die. We try to inject them. A lot of activities really. If you give me an opportunity to do that, I can also talk about some of them. We have a lot of activities.
Okay, we'll go into that, but let's take a step back.
Okay.
The National Productivity Center came into being because there was a problem on ground.
Yes.
Why do we have the productivity problem in the first place?
Definitely, there must be a problem. And once there's a problem, there's challenges. And then these challenges need to be identified and tackled. How do you tackle them? It has to do with manpower, human beings. You cannot talk about solving problems without human beings getting involved. And in terms of productivity is quite different from production. We are talking of productivity in different aspects. Inputs, activities like human resources, labor, money, many factors of production in later economics. And then when we synergize all these things, at the end of the day, we through processes, depending on the industry, thought processes, and then synergize them, you get outputs or meaningful products at the end of the day. So this activity of inputs, which I've mentioned some of them basically, and synergizing them to get outputs, we have to do it. Results, products or services. Like National Productivity Center, we don't produce anything, we produce services. And these services at the end of the day is called output. So this output I've mentioned now through the process of input over input mathematically is what we call productivity. So output upon input is productivity. So you must know what inputs are. Those things you will put into activities to get results at the end of the day. And those process of achieving them is the methodology or the process, and the products at the end of the day, the services is the output. So when you suppose these things, output upon input is productivity. That's mathematically. And then productivity also can be attitude of the mindset. How you see things, you change it from the state of inertia.
So it's not just tangible things.
No. But that is multifaceted. It's multifaceted in the sense that you in terms of attitude of the mind, which I mean from the social perspective, you don't give what you don't have. So the mindset you have should help you to build that consciousness, if it's in you, to do things well, better and better and better. That's what productivity is all about. Trying to improve on where you are, the status quo, to something better and better and better, to something improve profitability, improve service delivery, improve, a lot of things are involved. So I don't want to delve into a lot of factors that has, but productivity is a must for everybody, because if you involve productivity in yourself, it has to do with your ethical behavior. Because as I said earlier, you don't give what you don't have. You must have integrity. You must be transparent. You must be able to give out results, add value. So productivity is adding value to what is already in existence. As Citizens FM is now, you are adding value by getting corporate organizations or individuals or companies or that to improve or to sell or to tell. If you don't tell, you don't sell. So getting people involved, like National Productivity Center, what are you putting? What is National Productivity all about? A parasite under Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity. What do you produce? We don't produce anything. We all give services. That is what we give. And what are these services? These are services that are myriad, but we deploy them when you really want the practical aspect of it. That is the sense of maybe coming to Productivity House for redeployment, where we get you involved properly with our experts on that. But here we are to sensitize the public what National Productivity Center stands for. That we are here to promote national development. Go and say adding value, business excellence, getting people do things better and better and better. Okay.
I have the impression from what you've said so far that there is a strong relationship between productivity, performance, and service delivery.
Yes.
Talk us through this.
Service delivery, at the end of the day, we are talking about service delivery, business excellence, because you must have excellence. You can't do without excellence of quality of service. It's not far from what you're talking about. Because what you have at the end of the day is what people are looking at for. Quality of service, the results. Is it beneficial to mankind? Is it well for all concerned? Now, in terms of productivity also, which we are trying to say, that I told you that has to do with human factors. You get what I'm saying? Now, these human factors, this is dependent on what you can give. For instance, I'm saying about adding value. Depending on the profession you are, if you are adding value to whatever you are doing, it means it has to do with what you have you can give. And the knowledge is all about reading, interacting with people, researching, and National Politics Center is a research-oriented organization. We are more into researches. You know what I'm saying? It's also part of our mandate. So we try to involve ourselves in many areas. Like I've told you about promotion and advocacy. It's not only for MDAs. I mean organizations, private ministries and federal ministries or private state or that. We also involve ourselves with industries, companies, organizations in different aspects, and we'll be carrying out some of these activities. So in service delivery, if you don't imbibe issue of reduction of waste, which is a factor, and then quality service, customer friendliness, environmental friendliness, and all these things I've mentioned, National Politics Center deploy all these things to different sectors through what we call productivity improvement tools and techniques. So this is one of our hope, in trying to energizing the society, the country into prominence in terms of productivity improvement.
Okay, you spoke about the fact that you are research, you are heavy on research as a center.
Yes.
How useful is this to investors, especially the small businesses or even ailing businesses who need technical support, or even scholars who are doing research, not to talk of the media?
Yes. National Politics Center, for information also, we are spread around the whole country. 18 state offices covering the 13 states of the Federation. You get what I'm saying? What we are doing in corporate headquarters, Productivity House, is also what we are doing in the states. Okay? For information, really. Lagos, Maiduguri, any other place, we have offices there trying to cascade this productivity consciousness down the trend. And these things, we don't do it alone. We have international linkages, we have local linkages, we have interactions with state governments, in terms of promotion of productivity, cascading that to local government, and even to the chieftaincy, to the villages, to the towns. So productivity is not only dealing with organizations or private area, it still cascades down to individuals. So we involve ourselves into this research, and we'll be carrying out a lot of researches into different sectors, different areas. And we have a department in our national productivity called Productivity Measurement and Index, where some of these activities we've done are domiciled. So for listeners who would like to know what we've done on such an area, they should come to Productivity House. Then we can be able to, give them areas of interest of organizations, industries we have done something with, And the issue of annual Nigerian national index in terms of GDP and all those stuff is National Productivity Center through Productivity Measuring and Index have done some work on that. There's data on that, but I'm not there right now. I have some of them here, but these things have affected the working sector, because the workforce we have in this country, is going up, but the added value to activities of the government, to activities of the country, is going down. It's negative. So it's reflected in the data I have here. But what I'm trying to say is that in terms of research, we have research into different areas, in agricultural sector, in manufacturing sector, in social sector, and even the ones I've told you, we try to reach out to MDAs, depending on areas of interest. Okay? Even we have a program we call Productivity Coaching and Mentoring. We are tailored towards students in the secondary schools, catching them young.
Okay, I'm happy that you mentioned that, because technology is the in thing now in almost all facets of human endeavors. Let's look at digitalization of the productivity process, especially for startups, and that's your forte, because you are also deputy director in terms of information and advocacy. How has this been for the center?
Activities, there are no more manual. So in terms of activities of that, then this age now, you can't do without computer. Everything is all about going digital. You cannot do without say, I take, like just taking the time it takes letters to move years ago is not the same time now. Even as we are talking, people are online listening to us. These are digitalization. So we have capitalized on, we have involved ourselves in getting with the trend of things, because in order to reach out to our clients, our clientele, we have to get involved digitally. And digitally, it has to do with different facets, which we are measuring, like what we are doing right now. You get what I'm saying? We are reaching out. It's productivity promotion. Okay? So most of the things we do is no more manual per se, but it needs an in-depth involvement. You get what I'm saying? But in-depth involvement has to be practical. Because, for instance, I'm talking about the industries that are not doing well through a program we call Productivity and Quality Improvement Program.
Okay.
It's a practical application. It's an interventionist program. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you tell a company that is not doing well, they are doing well? How do you do that? You have to enter the company through interactions and create awareness. Now, get involved with the activities. Maybe study with them as this place is, as how do you carry out your program, what time, what's the process before it come into production, time management, attitude of staff, all those stuffs. You get what I'm saying? So when you get all these things involved and synergize them, you start talking about getting results. And these results are now manual, you see. That's what digitalization is all about. What you call Kazim, continuous improvement, improving on the status quo, changing from where you are to up. You continue upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. What's the upgrading? It's moving with the times. And also has to do with manpower too. The manpower recruitment into the system, not only National Productivity Center, other national bodies, because, as I say, you don't give what you don't have. And that passion and dedication to duty, to learn, to get involved with activities, will help you improve and get better and better. But most of the time, because of the trend of things, people don't want to move on. That's where change management comes in. People resist change, like what you've asked me. There's a change in the system. We are moving from, manual to digitalization, trying to reach out. Some people are not moving with the times. And when you try to get them involved, change management, why do people resist change? Fear of the unknown and all those factors. So you see that we get involved with many aspects of productivity, measurements, involvements, contributions, promotion, advocacy, and getting things done properly. And done properly has to do with what we have to offer. And then ability of people allowing us to come in also. Okay? Because I cannot come to Citizen FM now to have a discussion with you without, two and two. It takes two to tango. You get what I'm saying? So what we are doing now is trying to promote productivity. You got to say on your own side. And kudos to Citizen FM. And National Productivity Center, because our work is services, we don't make money. Most people don't even know what we do. But we are the fulcrum, we are the hub of the national economy. We provide data, we collect data, provide data, analyze data, use it to even National Bureau of Statistics in Abuja here. We synergize with them in trying to collect data and trying to make sure that organizations are productive and knowing how they are contributing to the national GDP or how things are being run. So productivity is a vast, it's not what we can talk under 30 minutes. So I'm narrowing down based on what you really asked me. Thank you.
All right. If you're just joining us, it's 8 Site on Citizen FM 93.7, and we are looking at the productivity sector. My guest is Mr. Martin Okonkwo, Deputy Director, Information and Advocacy Unit, Corporate Affairs and Information Department of the National Productivity Center. Inside, we'll take a break, and when we return, we will look at other areas that the National Productivity Center has been operating on, and all the things that this institution of government has been doing. Please don't go away. Inside will return in a moment. Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. And we are talking about productivity sector. If you're just joining us, and my guest has been Martin Okonkwo, Deputy Director, Information and Advocacy Unit, Corporate Affairs and Information Department of the National Productivity Center. And he's been helping us make sense of the vast duties, roles and responsibilities of the National Productivity Center. You can join us on our live stream on YouTube. Type in Citizen FM and you will be part of the show. You can also follow us on our social media platforms, on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. The phone lines are open. You can join us 0903 2229 That's 0903 2229 0818 2222 or 0818 2222 Any of these numbers, you can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of these numbers. All right, so we get on to the second half of the show. Mr. Martins, let's look at the strategic plan 2021 or thereabout. The strategic plan of this center was launched, and it was intended to raise national productivity by 5% in 4 years, intended to aid the center in achieving planned targets of raising national productivity level by 5% every year. So how would you say this has gone so far?
It haven't been easy. These external factors, in productivity we have factors, internal and external factors.
Tell us about them.
That's a good one. We're talking about internal or external. Let's start with internal, really. Those internal factors are those factors we can control, management-wise, and that. Like Citizens FM now, we can control some factors. Employee recruitment, how you manage your staff, time management, all those stuff. But external factors has to do with uncontrollable factors. Those factors beyond you,
out of your reach.
Yes, government policies. You come with a policy now that all the radio stations should pay 2 million. And you can't afford it monthly. You're going out of So these are things we are talking about. Tax, increase in tax, all those things that come without your control. These are external factors. So a myriad of them. These things are affecting the productivity. So since the launch of the strategic plan since 2021, these challenges, government positions in activities of organizations, companies, tax, policies that affect them and all those stuff, and then attitude of the workforce. You get what I'm saying? Towards work. Because everything is, when I was growing up, the passion, the dedication to duty, tell all down to us from our, age parents and even the schools we attend. It's not what we are getting right now. So you have a lot of tasks. Yes, you have the vision, you have the mission, you want things to work. But the people that are working with you, are they ready to key in? These are some of the challenges. And for you to make them key in, you have to massage their ego, try to get them involved and say, okay, I will motivate you, extrinsically or intrinsically, all those stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get results that way. There's nothing like the one that comes in from inside. That passion that I want to achieve, I want to make things work. Like Citizens FM, you want to be the best. You are benchmarking with the best. You want to be where you want to be more than where you are today. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the best. So you can't talk. This is where productivity tools we are talking about. Like my Director General, Dr. Nasser Raji Mustafa, is so passionate about productivity tools and techniques. This product improvement is improvement techniques for organizations and industries. And we have different strategies or tools or techniques to achieve that, depending whether it's a manufacturing industry, whether it's an organization or maybe a public oriented, all those stuff, even Citizen FM. We have many productivity tools, and I can mention some of them along the line, really, for listeners to know, but they want the issue of deployment. Sensitization is quite different from deployment. Then come to Productivity House. I would say some 4 Productivity House, right? Yes, you come there, we can talk deep. Here is just to massage, to sensitize people, and to bring down, really, if I have a little, just, if you climb the Hero, I'm an Igbo man, and when you climb an Hero tree, you collect all you want to collect there, because you don't know when you can climb again.
When next you have the opportunity.
So, based on that, really, National Productivity Center have a lot of functions, activities, and that I felt that I should maybe within 2 or 3, 4 minutes, really out, so that people will know what to really do.
Okay, I'll give you 2.
Fine. I've already said is National Productivity Center promote, develop, and provide services and harness potential resources in order to secure for the people of Nigeria a better and higher standard of living. We disseminate information on methods and programs for improving the level of productivity in industries. We provide consultancy and advisory services. I've already mentioned that. Provide training facilities by organizing capacity building courses and seminars specifically designed to improve competence and supervisory skills among workers and management of business organizations. We encourage the formation of productivity committees as well as establish branches of MPC in each state of the federation, geographical spread, which I already mentioned. Now, we also liaise on continuous basis with the Center for Management Development. These are into researches. These are organizations that are into research, Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, and similar institutions or associations which the Governing Council consider will further the objectives of national productivity, and will liaise with international labor organizations. I mentioned international linkages and national, but some of them, I would like to mention some of them: United Nations Development Program (UNDP), United Nations Conference for Trade and Development (UNCTAD), and as well as national, regional, and international organizations engaged in the promotion of productivity. And not the last, International Labour Organization, with the headquarters in Geneva. All this is for national and international improvement for labor force. All this is our labor-related activities. That's their mandate. That's the objectives. Everybody is working around the clock, but when problems are myriad, there are many. So if that's it.
Okay, this is interesting. Listening to you, even in the course of this program, you also told us that you have a relationship with the NBS, the National Bureau for Statistics, in terms of research findings and data. But I also know that the National Productivity Center also deals with other government agencies, the ECA, the NASIMA, the SMEs, and the rest of. So, what has been the quality of relationship between these agencies in terms of your collaboration? How has it been so far?
Wow, super duper. The German said super duper. You have been a very good one. You see, but some of these activities, collaborations, relationships, it's not something you blow on the air. You, like some of them you mentioned, really, we are partners. Some of them are part of our governing council boards, members. We belong to one body, because we are tailored towards achieving productivity. They are research oriented. Some of our activities are also related because we are pushing one goal. So our Director General have been liaising with the DGs or head of these parastatals in trying to promote that productivity consciousness, excellence in service delivery, and getting government in queue up into improving the services of organizations and even the workforce, even the Nigerian Labour Congress. We are also in relation with them because we can't do without labor. You get what I'm saying? Labor capital, labor industry, labor productivity. All these things are part of what we are preaching about. So we can't talk about these things without getting them queue up into what we have. And if you don't, as I said, you don't tell, you don't sell. So you have to tell what you have to offer, get people involved through this dissemination now, this platform, radio program, trying to sensitize the populace. These are what we do. Most of them don't know what National Productivity Center is all about. We don't make that noise, but we are behind the scene. And that is why my Director General that came on board some months ago, the new one, is passionate about these productivity tools and techniques. And what are they? These are techniques, tools. You know what is a tool? It's just like a mechanic. You use tools to, remove one thing or the other, remove noise and that's tools. But techniques are methodology to achieve success. So that is how we have productivity improvement tools and we have productivity techniques, But some of the basics I should let listeners know has to do with what we call brainstorming. Then we have what we call Ishikawa or fishbone diagram. This Ishikawa is a Japanese word anyway.
Okay. Before we descend into the classrooms, let's move on. The phone lines are still open. You can call us on 0903 22299797. You can also call us on 0818 222205 or 0818 22206. This is an opportunity. If you have questions about the National Productivity Center, if you need information, clarification, or you want to give an opinion, this is an opportunity. You can also send us a WhatsApp message and let us know where you are writing in from, and don't forget that you can also interact with us on our social media pages, because we have less than 10 minutes to wrap this up. Let's look at we've talked about your collaboration with other government agencies, but how far reaching is your collaboration with the informal sector in Nigeria? Very important.
The informal sector, we have National Productivity Summit. We have many activities of the center. We have, because if I mention some of them, you will understand what I mean. Many. We have Productivity Summit, Nigeria, enhancing the productivity of the informal sector in Nigeria for increased competitiveness. This we did through National Productivity Center Summit proceedings, which last year we did one. So we have been reaching out to these small SMEs, because these are the informal sectors. You get what I'm saying? Entrepreneurship, getting them involved in what they do. You see, so NDE, for it is also, we collaborate with NDE and other related bodies, because it has to do with labor, it has to do with manhood, entrepreneurs, and other stuff. We create some of these tools I'm talking about. Is some of the things we help to improve them. Not only we do capacity building in terms of giving lectures and educating them on what to do and what not to do, we also provide methods, ways of identifying their problems. Like as I mentioned last, I say Ishikawa diagram or Ishikawa program. He say, what is it all about? It's problem identification strategy. You know what I'm saying? Where we talk about fish, fishbone. What's fish? Fish has a head and it has skeletons, But that head is where the problem lies. And there's myriad of problems that constitute to that bigger problems. So that's why it's also a strategy. There's a problem too. And we have many of them. So, and that is why I wanted to also just mention some of these basic productivity improvement tools. I'm not going to explain them. But so that staff or people or organizations can know through a program that is, how do I put it? I will say it's our baby, productivity, quality and improvement program. It's National Productivity Center baby. We hold it dear to our heart because a lot of companies, a lot of industries are going moribund. And this productivity and quality improvement is tailored towards industries, which I mentioned. Also, they are going, a lot of factors have made them, some of them on there. But when we visit them and interact with them, even at times we work with them for a week or some days, we see the way they do their work, the process, process formulations, before getting results in the industries and that. And even attitude of staffs and even management. At times also, through this program, we bridge between the employees and the management. We identify these problems through this improvement tools I'm talking about and then help them. Like, for instance, Kazim, as I mentioned, is a Japanese word also, which has to do with continuous improvement. What Citizen FM is doing now is continuous improvement. Improving where you are today is not where you are last year. Okay? So that's continuous improvement. It's Kazim. And what is the objective is to increase in productivity, reduction on cost, human resource development, improvement in quality, reduction of fatigue, and improvement in safety and increase in sales. So these are part of objectives of Kazim. And some of them, we are practicing them, and the implementation methods are many. So we have quality circle, and this is a participatory group of about 4 to 10 employees with same unit enlisted to provide solutions to productivity problems. These are problem-solving techniques. Like, for instance, here 4 to 6 might come together and look at the problems you are having, identify them, narrow them to one, and then the management will look at it and identify what's the sort of problem, everything fall in place. That's why it's a productive improvement to quality circles. And then we have 5S, good housekeeping. We call it 5S. It's a 5S. That S is a Japanese word also, but sort, set, and do this is organizing yourself, making things work. You get what I'm saying? Look at where we are, and everything is in place. That is 5X. Organizing yourself properly, not only in the office, even in your house. Even you have 3, if you have 4 keys, for instance, okay, A, B, C, D. You open files for them. Every document that has to do with A should be enter A file. That of B should enter B file. That of C we enter. So even from the studio here, you can call your wife, say go to B's file. Go to page this, that, or if you get the birth certificate or so, or get this, because you organized, knowing where to place things and when you need them. It saves time, it saves stress, and you achieve that's productivity. That's why it's a productivity improvement tool. It's not only in the office, even in your house, even organizations it belong. You get what I'm saying? When you enter organizations that are more organized and that are 5S compliant, you see that things are in place. Neatness and environmental friendliness through what we call green productivity. A lot. Green productivity is environmental friendliness. It has to do with environmental friendliness and the quality of service at the end of the day. So that's it. That's green productivity. It's an improvement tool also. Total quality management. This is also a technique that is utilized to improve operations and results, and it seeks to improve the competitiveness, effectiveness, and flexibility of an organization through the system and process of quality control and management, and it demands change in mentality and shift in focus or control outside the individual persons. These are part of productivity improvement tools, and the focus area is quality, productivity, profitability, people, process, and innovation. So this, you see, my brother, we can't talk about productivity under 1 hour. We can't talk about productivity under 10 days, 2 years. It's a continuous thing. And applications, deployment, you come to productivity house.
All right, and we can also not talk about productivity throughout on Citizen FM throughout the day. We have to come to a close. But before we go, what would you say is the greatest challenge of the National Productivity Center today?
Fund is a factor. Okay, fund is a factor because you most things you do in this country can't do without money. In terms of budget, in terms of allocations, and government, what they give out to National Productivity Center is not all that encouraging. But because of the ingenuity of the National Productivity Center Director General and staffs and that, we keep the board floating. Yeah. But if you want to bring food to the table and make things work, and you can hold people responsible for their activities, then you equip them. Even this thing we are talking about, tools and techniques, is still what we are talking about. If you give me money, give me manpower, give me resources, give me equipment, things, like what you are doing, you give quality service or resource at the end of the day. So, but when you don't have all this, how do you achieve? So these are some of the challenges, and even that made us through the productivity and measurement and index to look at Nigeria globally. The GDP, that like I mentioned statistically about National Bureau of Statistics, but we have done some studies on collecting data about national development. Like in 20, can I talk?
Okay.
Fine. The gross domestic product of the current basic process in 2020, our GDP is around 152 trillion, 324 billion, 70 billion, and 590,000. But the GDP growth rate in 2020 is minus 1.92%. But the total employed in Nigeria is around 46,488,079. But the total workforce, I've mentioned it before, the total workforce is 68,632,664. But the value added, what are the value adding to the country in terms of services? If you look at it, it's 426 trillion, 796 billion, 185 million, and 224,035 kobo. But the growth rate of this value added is negative, minus 9 plus. So it's not doing well for us. But you look at the workforce growth rate from what I mentioned, because I will compare this with 2021 and 2022. So you understand that we are not going down. We are going down every day. The growth rate is 1.8689%, and the ratio of the total employed to total labor force is around 0.0677%. So it's not helping matters. But now compare it to 2021. In 2021, the GDP is 173 trillion, 527 billion, 662 million, 340,000. And the GDP growth rate is 3.4%. It has increased from negative 1.19% to 3.4%. Okay?
Okay.
It's increasing. So if I start reading that, what I'm trying to let you know is that the workforce, what we have as the workforce, and the people who are really doing the work itself, there's a wide gap. And then the value being added is not commensurate. And you see that from my data statistics, if I read that, you see that more than 8 million plus, you can say, are not doing anything, contributing to the GDP.
All right. I think we have to leave it at that.
Which means they are not adding value.
We have to leave it at that. Mr. Martin Sokonkwo, Deputy Director, Information and Advocacy Unit, Corporate Affairs and Information Department, National Productivity Center. Thank you for your interventions on Insight, and thank you for the work you do for the National Productivity Center on behalf of Nigerians. Well, and we also kudos to your Director General, Dr. Nasir Raji Mustafa. We also know that he has been up and doing a lot in the media and in the public space, and trying to let Nigerians know the essentials of the National Productivity Center. But here on Citizen FM, we will continue to collaborate with government institutions that will offer service to Nigerians. Thank you so much for your appearance on Insight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and listeners, all the best.
All right, so that's our package on Insight today. The program returns tomorrow with another edition. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Enjoy the rest of your day.